Hi guys, today we're going to do an unboxing of the LG V60 ThinQ 5G and the dual screen. Let's go and take a look. Wow, what an exciting day. I've got the LG V60 ThinQ, guys. Boom shakalaka. LG's got 2 years of warranty. You just got to sign up. Don't forget, you have LG Pay, exactly same as Samsung Pay. And nice LG micro fabric. Wow. So this, folks, is the new LG V60. Really digging the colors. I really dig these new colors, the navy with the gold. I think it's great. I really dig the fact that there's no big camera hump. LG's really been on top of their stuff with the camera hump. A beautiful looking phone. Let's go ahead and power it up real quick. Oops, I actually did power it up. I was too excited, so I actually unboxed it and actually tried it for a few days. But really love this new phone. I think this is going to become my new daily driver. It's got 6.8 inches. It's not 1440p this year, 1080p. But obviously, that's where the dual screen comes in. Let's go ahead and unbox the dual screen. Now, all of this comes with the phone, under $1,000. So that's really nice. You've got the dual screen here. Remember the LG G8X with the dual screen that I tried? I didn't end up actually using the second screen too much, but after getting the V60, I'm actually thinking otherwise. Look at how big that is. That's two 6.8 inch screens. Let's go ahead and turn on the dual screen, and you can move apps with 3-finger gestures. Let me just go ahead and play something that's copyright free. Very, very full sound. Really like it. Now, obviously, one of the biggest benefits is that you could watch YouTube and do other things. I really like this feature. Let's say I'm trading stocks and I want to be able to see what's going on minute by minute basis. I'll load up my trading view and then I'll watch my YouTube videos. Really love this. Now, the biggest difference that I see, it's something kind of simple. What I see is that with the LG G60, the screen is so much bigger. It makes it so much more useful, because I never got the V50 dual screen. All right, but I think with the dual screen, with the bigger dual screens, I think this works out perfect for those of you who actually want to multitask. And I'm actually amazed that you can watch videos and also trade Bitcoins. I'm just amazed how much bigger the screen is. And also over the G8X that I really like right away, especially when I'm typing with the G8X, the screen's a lot smaller, so this left-hand side bothers me a lot. But with much bigger display, even with the second screen on, it makes your portrait typing much easier. So I'll have no problems with the keyboard. I've had some bigger issues with the keyboard issue. I've had some issues with the keyboard on the G8X just because it was just a smaller phone. I really dig this setup where you can just go ahead and put it on any angle. Makes it so useful, especially when you're watching YouTube videos, when you're eating. Also, when you're doing any kind of live stuff or video chat, you can go in and just simply lay this down and start talking to your friends and family. So I would say the biggest advantage this year, obviously, is the bigger screen. With the bigger screen, you can just do so much. And while Samsung's still working on their prototypes, LG's already got something that's more practical. It's got 2 screens. You can convert it into a single screen simply by snapping it out. And as far as specs go, LG's always on top of the game with cameras. I would say they're just as good as Samsung cameras. You don't have a telephoto, you don't need a telephoto, you got 8K, the latest Snapdragon processor, a very nice form factor, and LG has done a terrific job with the UI. It is fast, and with the latest Snapdragon processor, you will not have any kind of lags. You know, one of the biggest problems I've had with the Asus ROG 2, which I will eventually review, the UI experience was not that great because Asus particularly, they're sort of new into the Android game still, and their UI is just not polished. After a while, everything starts lagging. I'll have to force close out of apps. With something like the latest LG V60, you're not gonna have those problems. So really dig this. Now, they did send me an AT&T version, which comes with 5G. We can go ahead and test it out real quick. If you have AT&T Verizon, you should be able to get 5G. I don't think 5G is available for T-Mobile in most places. Sprint, I'm actually not sure, but let's actually go ahead and do a 5G test. I'm actually just barely getting 5G, but we'll do it anyways, just for the hell of it. Okay, here's 5G on AT&T with very 1 bar signal from my house, and yeah, those results are pretty disappointing. Now, I'll definitely do another test in more crowded area, but I'm still not really sold on 5G so much. I'm really OG, and I think until 5G proves that it's like 10 times, 100 times faster than 4G LTE, I'm not planning to switch so much. I'm not too interested, basically. So 5G is supposed to be better technology at giving you more bandwidth, especially in dead zones and stuff like that. But it doesn't give you drastic improvements like we saw from like 4G, 3G to 4G LTE. Let's go ahead and check out the camera. Of course, camera, I did check out the camera, obviously, with the previous show. Let me actually go ahead and test out the front camera, make sure it focuses well. So front camera, you can do up to 4K 60 frames per second if you want. But let me go ahead and test it out real quick, just my first video. Let's just do a quick... wow, focus is real good. 1, 2, 1, 2. Wow. So I did point this out at the preview at the LG event. The front camera focus wasn't fast. And I told the LG guys to fix it, and they fix it. Wow. So this is the biggest problem with my Galaxy S20 Ultra, which I also still have. And I'll do maybe a side-by-side comparison. Oh, LG so much better. So no problems there. As far as the front camera, you no longer have a wide angle. That's the only drawback with the LG V60. It's not a huge loss, but I would definitely like to see it in the upcoming models. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the back camera here. And you got 1x zoom, 2x zoom, all right, which is digital pretty much. And also you got 0.5x. So 1, 2x zoom, and 0.5x. That's actually looking real good. So this actually has slightly bigger camera sensor than the regular S20 and the S20 Ultra. So in theory, you should get slightly better photos. Of course, it's processing where it's going to make a difference. There is a 4x3 63 megapixel mode also. That gives you power of 63 megapixels. Let's go ahead and take a look. So that gives you 9,248 times 6936 pixels of resolution. That makes it 64 megapixels. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the 64 megapixels. I'm not too keen on the number of megapixels because it always ultimately comes down to your camera sensor and also processing, which is more important. I'm not too crazy about 64 megapixels. It seems to work pretty good. What I'm really interested is, of course, oh my God, the 8K. So 8K, I think this is a 62 frames per second. And at 8K, you can do 1x, you can do 2x. When I tested this out on the preview, the event, it looked really nice. There's no wide angle though in 8K, which is fine. But once you step over to 4K, you're gonna be able to make use of 2x and also 0.5x wide angle. So in terms of camera abilities, I don't think you'll have trouble with this. Let's go ahead and take some portrait modes. So really like these different modes they offer. You got blur, color focus, panning, zoom, natural light, softbox light, contour light. So a lot of different lighting conditions you can use. There's also manual camera for both photos and videos. And videos is, I would say, very, very important. So in manual mode, you can do up to 8K. Let's just set it to 4K for right now. Frame rate, you can do 1, 2, 24, 30, 60 frames per second. You could set the bit rate high as possible to get a better quality. You can also record in hi-fi, high quality sound, ACR 10 plus, HEVC, and video stabilization. So let's say you're making a video and you want to set the ISO manually, and you want the shutter speed to be 1/60. You see the EV meter right there? So I could set it exactly how I want it. Let's say auto balance. I know we're at about 5400. Maybe we could do like 5 now. We're like 5300 right there. Okay, and also if you want to do manual focus, oh, you got this nice dial. It's got some really good haptic feedback. And when you're ready, go ahead and record. It sort of brings out the manual camera in you. Look at that. Blur out, and you can slowly get into your scene for your TikTok. How's that? So while I haven't made too many videos on manual mode, I mean, I think this is a great tool for filmmakers, TikTokers, Instagrammers, because you're gonna be able to make those, you know, custom, especially focus. It's gonna be great, and you're gonna be able to use a manual camera to add more dark, lightness, just control the environment just the way you want it, instead of just sticking to auto. But this looks beautiful. So this is in manual mode, 4K. Look at how well that works. There's a lot to like about this phone. There is a headphone jack. Hey, there's a headphone jack. So there's 4 microphones. 1, 2, 3. I don't know where the 4th one is. I still haven't found the 4th one. If you guys know where it is, let me know. Sound is really good this year. LG really kept it simple this year. Let me go ahead and actually compare the size for you guys. This is pretty much an S20 Plus size. It could be somewhat between S20 Plus and S20 Ultra. Here's my S20 Plus. So the screen real estate is slightly bigger than the S20 Plus. As you can see, it's slightly longer. Maybe 3-4 millimeters longer. It's about the same width though, so it's slightly just a longer phone than the S20 Plus. It does have much bigger bezels, right? Which I don't mind. It's fine. Let's go ahead and compare it to the S20 Ultra. So lined up perfectly at the top here, and it is slightly shorter than the S20 Ultra. The width, again, is about the same. So this is pretty much somewhat between the S20 Plus and the S20 Ultra. Alright, the difference between these 3 phones is very negligible. It really comes down to your hardware preference, what I want in a phone. Do I want a headphone jack? Do I want quad DAC for my headphones? Or do I need a 100x zoom? Or do I want a phone that does not rattle? Or rattles less? Oh wow, so the LG wins with the rattle test. Absolutely no rattle. Slight rattle. And big rattle. As far as the fingerprint sensor goes, works quite well. It's pretty much instant. I believe it's actually using optical, which is fine. As long as it works pretty fast, I don't mind it. I'm not a fan of on-screen fingerprint sensors just because they just make you slower. These are all pretty nice phones. I would definitely say LG V60 wins this year in terms of cost, ability to have a second screen without too much additional cost. It comes with a phone. The displays are great on both LG and Samsung phones. I'll definitely have a full comparison between these 3 guys. But yeah, I've been daily driving the S20 Plus now because I have so many trouble with autofocus on the S20 Ultra. I'm gonna definitely really love using this because I do a lot of multitasking on my phone these days. Well, I do everything on my phone these days whenever it's possible. This is just simply gonna make sense for a lot of you guys who may need to use 2 screens, especially at home watching movies, multitasking. This is going to come in really handy. You could also use the bottom as a keyboard, which is nice. I don't actually like this typing at this angle because the phone's actually now become a little too huge. But this would be a great way to play games. Use it as a controller. You have a full controller, game apps to use, which I should cover eventually. I'm actually really impressed what LG has done with the LG V60. They really spend a lot less money than Samsung on the new foldable stuff, but they made something practical that you could afford. I mean, this whole kit still costs less than an S20 or S20 Plus here, or the S20 Ultra. Now, what I would like to really definitely see is ability to use the back camera as selfie camera. Simply putting some, maybe be able to have a cutout here so you can actually use the back camera. So that's the only thing. Also the button placement, I feel like a little bit odd. Sometimes it's closed like this. It's sort of hard to get it to because it's in the back. I think having it on the right side would be better for ergonomics. But yeah, really nice phone. I think the problem is a lot of people want that, oh, I want the latest foldable phone with the latest tech. But it costs $3,000, like it costs $2,500, it costs $1,500. Well, you could just get this for less than $1,000. So I'm actually really digging where LG's headed. They're not releasing early products that you cannot afford, or making ridiculous price for a smartphone, and it's very practical. And yeah, you don't need a second screen, just leave it at home, and boom, you got a nice sleek phone. That's huge. I'm a real proponent of bigger screen phones, as a lot of you guys know. And yeah, this year I'm probably gonna stick with these two phones. And I'll try to have a lot more Galaxy S20 Plus versus V60 ThinQ videos, so watch out for that. Of course, now looking at it, the S20 Plus is slightly smaller phone, you can see. But really dig the feel on the LG V60 ThinQ. LG's just getting better every year, man. I think we have very good balance of Samsung making these crazy foldable phones, and then LG coming out with something that is actually more practical, all right? But I really dig the two huge screens. It makes a huge difference. Now, if LG can make more apps compatible with the dual screen, for example, right now, if you open a link in your Gmail, it's not gonna open on the other side. So let's go ahead and hit that button, and you see it's supposed, if you use the whale browser, it will go to the right. But I think that's gonna make email checking easy, a lot of things easier. So a lot of simple stuff I think LG can improve upon. But so far I'm really loving it. I've been actually using this for a couple days. And if you're tired of upgrading your phone every year, you know, the camera on here versus here, you're not gonna see that much difference. All right, the only real difference, this has a bigger zoom, 3x optical zoom versus no optical zoom. But yeah, I mean, they're both great phones. But yeah, I'll have a full review. For right now, I am really digging this dual screen. I highly recommend it. Especially LG makes very, very good screens. Like the problem I had with my Asus ROG 2 was I would use it in the sun and the display would literally just be too dim. I'll be like, what the hell? And sometimes that's the way you get what you pay for. But with LG stuff, I mean, both of these screens get super bright, just like the Samsung screens. And I've never had problems with any of the LG Samsung displays in the sunlight. So with the cheaper brands out there, you see the biggest problem is the display, that it stays dim when there's sunlight. You just can't beat the AMOLED, POLED, the LED technology that goes on Samsung or LG phones. I'm gonna definitely test this out a little bit more and give you a full review, but for right now, really love the LG V60. This is definitely the phone of the year in my opinion, just because they're able to put this huge two screens and make it very, very functional. And yeah, I think this is gonna be my go-to phone this year. Anyway guys, I also have the Verizon model coming, which is actually my main carrier, one of my main carriers, so I can test out Verizon's latest 5G. I'm a little disappointed with AT&T 5G anyways. Anyway, have a great day. And as always, stay on Android.
Click here to subscribe.